everyone. My name is Sargun from class 9th of APJ School Pitampura. Today I favor hybrid classroom, stone to milestone. Hybrid class is a course that combines traditional face-to-face or seat time learning with some online learning activities. The purpose of a hybrid class is to take advantage of the best features of both online and more traditional forms of learning. A hybrid class is designed to integrate online and face to face learning activities so that they complement, reinforce, and elaborate on one another, rather than regarding the online activities as add ons or as duplicates of the traditional learning. Hybrid class does not mean to completely eliminate offline or traditional learning, but it is to incorporate it in ways to take just the best aspects and eliminate the disadvantages. The common inefficiency of physical classrooms or traditional learning is that the time students are expected to sit in their seats. Being present in class and attendance often become markers of the students' success on an ongoing basis. I don't think you can determine how much a student is learning with their presence in large classrooms. But on the other hand, in hybrid classes, the deliberate use of technology, it automatically reduces the excessive seat time. The focus is not on attendance, but it is instead on students' engagement, participation, submissions, and other similar criterias. Another advantage of hybrid classroom is that the opportunity for differentiation. To differentiate means to provide students with different instructions where significant elements of the work are independent and online, like in hybrid education. Students can be assigned tasks based on their personal progress. They can also work at a pace that is suitable to them, unlike our traditional model. So, hybrid learning is not only defined as what I said before, it is defined by its models also. So, it has four main models: the rotation model, the flex model, the self blend model, and the enriched virtual model. So, the rotation model, that's the first one. Students rotate between several ways of learning. Those are online learning, group projects, individual tutoring, and full class instruction. Then the flex model. In this, the students follow the content online and at their own schedule. The teachers and other adults support and conduct small group activities, projects, and individual exercises. The self blend model, which is the next one, a student chooses to take one or several courses online in addition to other traditional courses that they attend. And then the enriched virtual model. In this, it is a combination of remote online learning and attending the campus. So, the success of hybrid education, it is determined by its statistics also. A lot of surveys have been conducted on it and they have quite successful results. Like up to 73% of teachers themselves have noticed that blended learning or hybrid learning increases engagement. Students are often bored by the slow pace of the traditional learning, so that leads to lower performance and engagement. In a study done by the Center for Digital Education, 73% of teachers who use blended learning, so they are well versed in what they're talking about, they have reported that it increases performance and engagement. Then, in a study conducted by e learning infographics, 60% of teachers say academic ability improves with blended learning. So, as many as 59% of students show more motivation for this type of learning, and around 60% of teachers believe that blended learning models have helped improve the students' academic ability. Then, blended learning shows 8% improvement in mastering high school algebra. That's one of the hardest things to learn, I suppose, and this is quite a big achievement. Then, 62% of participants in blended learning programs have high scores on advanced placement tests. Now, to gauge its impact, we should see the outcomes through completion rates. and up to 94% of students engaged in a blended learning program finished their selective course successfully. That's quite impressive. 70% of students say that they themselves learn best in blended learning classrooms. Now, students understand their education better than anyone because they are the ones who are experiencing it. And then, additionally, up to 82% of students would prefer a blended learning environment to a traditional one. Even the parents want it. Contrary to popular belief, over 36% of parents ask that their child have more online classes, and around 48% of high schoolers' parents say that they wish to be offered more online courses. Now, this is, I think, a success because in the same study, 20% of the parents remain neutral. So, 48% takes the majority. 60% of students like to have designated online communication tools for their courses. Having specific resources and tools to communicate in a blended learning environment is quite important in hybrid. The blended learning approach to class is communication. It is one of the factors that influences the students' satisfaction with the program. It's quite a big thing to play. Then the students tend to using existing social media platforms, and still up to 57% prefer to lead separate school and social lives, and 60% respond better to having a different blended learning platform from the ones they use for entertainment and socializing. Except when it comes to YouTube, of course. Like 25% of children or students choose videos as their favorite term of online learning. In traditional school, as high tech as it gets, is that they may show you some presentation on your topic. But video is a preferred way by students, and students are the people who are experiencing the studies, right? And YouTube is actually quite popular. It's the third most used social media platform. However, they have high expectations in this field as they consume a lot of video content on social media and can often create high quality level content themselves. Blended learning statistics for 2020 show that one quarter of students think course related videos are the most useful online learning tool. There's more also. Some 48% of students say interactive polls and quizzes are their favorites. Finally, the same percentage of students report practicing online questions is their preferred way of learning. According to a EdTech review, 76% of educators think that blended learning is beneficial. Just over 3 quarters of teachers, 76% is that much, think it's good for students and they believe in its benefits. Many people think that teachers don't like hybrid education, but as a matter of fact, they do. 85% of educators cite improved personalized learning experience as reason to turn to blended classrooms. More than 4/5 of participants in the blended learning research report then the district goal offered better personalized learning experience, while 73% report the goal was raising engagement. Then there are K-12 programs in US. Let's talk international a bit. They mostly use three learning models and they have done three surveys on it. 43% of a combination of online and traditional classes, and 43% of flipped classroom model, and 38% of the rotation model where multiple ways of learning are combined with online learning. Next, around 5 million college students had at least one course online. A Babson survey research group data shows that over 5 million college students took at least one course online back in 2016. Around 75% of all districts in the United States offer one form of blended learning to one another. So it is a emerging field. Then there are massive open online courses and they have sometimes up to 100,000 students. So there is no way we can say that the students don't get to know how other students think, how they work. There is quite a lot of student to student interaction. Then MOOC providers have doubled the number of visits since March 2020. This is the situation in which the education found itself in 2020 with the pandemic opened a door to a new group of people who weren't previously considered as MOOCs. Blended learning statistics reveal that a wave of new visitors flooded MOOC providers' websites in 2020 and made the plateau they were facing during 2018 to 19 disaster disappear fast. For instance, the number of Class Central visitors went up by a whopping 15 million, doubling from the year before. Then Coursera had $35 million new enrollments from March to the start of August 2020. And e-learning market is expected to grow by $325 billion by 2025. So it's quite the growing industry. Now, a 2011 experiment at Clindondale High School in Michigan switched to the flipped classroom method in full. Desperate for reform, being among the worst 5%, it was the only thing left to try. And now it is very successful. So, in the end, I would like to say that with the new age of automation and technological revolution, we need to get more technologically advanced in education. So, hybrid education, according to me, is a step into the future of education, and there's no way that we can regret adopting it. Thank you.